Welcome again, Taurus. Dadici here from astrology.com.au, and it's February 2017, would you believe? You know, when the Moon and Mars are together in a horoscope, it indicates quite a bit of emotional vitality and volatility at the same time. Hopefully you're able to use this conjunction that starts the month off in a positive way. And I think that's possible given that we see the placement of this Moon and Mars conjunction in your 12th house, which is a very spiritual house. Mars doesn't function altogether too well there, excepting for the fact that it's in its own sign of Aries. The Moon for you rules your 3rd house, which is the more conscious mind. So this, I would say, is a very conscious effort to improve your spiritual insight, to really look within yourself and understand your past as well. In some forms of Eastern astrology, this 12th house is all about your psychological past, that karmic past, along with the 9th house. And the 5th house has to do with your future karma. And that's important too right now, because we see the North Node, the planet which relates to your future karma, in this 5th house. It's been there for a while. So issues of karma, your spiritual self-development, self-empowerment, pardon me, all of these things are strongly focused, along with Saturn in your 8th house. This is the snapshot. Interestingly, would you believe that having the Sun in the 10th house right now, currently, up until 18th of February, is a very strong testimony of a strong push in your professional direction, and even the opportunity to achieve some sort of professional accolade. Usually when the Sun is in the 10th house, it has what we call directional strength. So it's gaining quite a bit of strength. It's in an air sign. The air signs normally fuel the fire of the fiery planet, such as what we have here. So how do we reconcile this? By the fact that you have, the Moon, this emotional planet, which is also ruling your conscious mind, Mars, the driving planet, ruling your 7th house as well as the 12th house. 7th house is other people. In the 12th house, which is a hidden house. So it could well be that these are like the self-help positions, where your work is really going to be very much augmented by self-understanding, meditative practices, yoga, these sorts of things. And you've got that brilliant electric Uranus still just wading through this 12th house as well, giving you flashes of brilliance through its activity there. On top of that, you have the spiritual planet Jupiter from the 6th house of work aspecting this area. So you can see how we stitch all of these different factors together. Well, it's the way I do it anyhow, to see that your work can spiritualize you, and you can spiritualize your work through this aspect. Now, it's a challenging aspect because you've got Jupiter having just passed out of this opposition to Uranus. You've got Mercury and Pluto in your 9th house. Again, we mentioned earlier, this is another spiritual house, having a what we call a 90-degree aspect or square aspect to both Jupiter and Uranus. So this is called a T-square. And that's usually a point of great challenge or tension within the horoscope. So I'm seeing that whilst you want to move forward on all of this, there could be some elements of tension coming through and concern. The secret here, I think, is really putting your best foot forward in terms of the way you do your work. So rather than segregating the spiritual meditation or study or activity that you do from the work that you do, and I find this a big problem with many of the clients that come to me wanting to figure out how to become more spiritual. They say, Dadici, I do all this spiritual work, meditation, I do yoga 2 hours a day. What they fail to understand is that the true spirituality is amalgamating these principles in your daily activities. It's not sort of divorcing the yoga from the practice of skillful work. So I'd put it to you that this is important. You can gain some great benefits through your work, no doubt, after the 18th, when the sun moves into your 11th house in the companionship of Ketu, or the south node, and Neptune. Again, these are all spiritual planets. So I think this month for you is very much on target for you, investigating these areas of your life and coming in touch with friends who may also assist you in this area. The 11th house being friends, Pisces being the 11th house in your case, also a very spiritual planet. The sun moving into conjunction with Ketu, your past karma planet. All of these factors are there. I do see some questions of travel possibly happening there. The second ruler, Mercury, is moving through your 9th house after having just been in that really intense conjunction to Pluto. So expenses on travel, expenses on higher education, books, self-help programs, these are all indicated through this. I haven't mentioned much about your relationships this month. Mars, again, transiting in your 12th house, could show that that takes a back seat right now, or that issues that you have to deal with may need to be dealt with in a more quiet manner, not so much going out. Also, Mars, ruler of your 7th house, in the 12th house could indicate sickness or health issues that are going on with someone that you love during this period. The ruling planet for you, Venus, moves into the 12th house as well. So this again, we can see point after point is pointing to these factors. That happens on the 4th of February and continues there for the rest of the month. That brings with it a lot more passion. That can indeed help your relationship, as seen by the movement towards Mars, which is the ruler of the 7th house, and Venus, which is your ruling planet. So all in all, I think this month is a very self-reflective month for you, Taurus. We see around the, let me have a look here, I think it's about the 7th, Mercury moves into your career sector. So there could be somewhat of a shift at that time, and we see Mercury being a more communicative planet, brings a bit more of a shift to matters of a professional nature, dealing with your employers, co-workers, and that sort of thing. If you want more on this, don't forget to stop in at the site astrology.com.au. We've got a lot more information there for you. It's all free. Unless you prefer to have a personal reading, then we can talk about that. No problem if you want a more detailed analysis. And I do look forward to having your company here next month to find out more about what's happening in the continuing saga of the life of Taurus. Take care now. Bye-bye.